Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. Oh, sorry. We're getting some fuzz here. All right. It's 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It means it's time for another live stream. Today is Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. Yes, the 17th. It's a Wednesday, but because we didn't get a chance to do a mukbang on Monday because I forgot to bring snacks when I was at my in-laws' house, we're going to do it today. And today we're going to be taking a look at I don't know how to pronounce this. I think it's pronounced JoJe bars, Joje with an accent on top. It won't focus on it. Focus. It's not going to focus on it. Anyway, JoJe bars. But part of me wants to pronounce it like Jose, like JoJe. I don't know. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. I'm going to call it JoJe bars. JoJe, I'm not sure. But we're going to try some of these. I got 4 different flavors. Got it from my favorite place to get stuff from, but until they reach out to me, or maybe I should just reach out to them and we could work out some sort of, at least a promo code or something. I'm not going to name them by name, but it rhymes with the seed. So you guys know where I've been buying some of this stuff at. Before I get to that, though, I want to say hi to everyone listening on the live stream and on the podcast. Not on the live stream, but on the podcast, on the audio-only version. Hopefully you guys are having a good run out there today. Weather's been really nice here in the Midwest. So if you're a morning runner, it's just been absolutely gorgeous. You can run in a singlet. You can run in a shirt. Either way, you're going to be good, but you're not going to be cold. You don't have to worry about gloves. You're still going to get pretty sweaty, but it's just going to be nice running weather. Hopefully you're getting that too, wherever you're running. And everyone watches on YouTube later. Hopefully you got some snacks, maybe some dessert after some dinner, because we're going to be eating today. So you might get hungry. All right, let's see who we got in the chat here. We got Pete G 1980 says, "Hi, Cozy, happy Wednesday. I'm trying to run longer distances, but just keep running too fast. I'm finding it really hard to slow my pace down. Any tips?" I would say change up what you're listening to. If you're listening to something while you're running, switch to a podcast, some sort of conversation, something that will kind of take your mind off the running and let your body come to like an equilibrium in terms of what it just kind of feels like it wants to do. And keep it nice and simple. If you could find a running buddy that you could keep things conversational with, even better. But that's kind of like the main things that I think about. Change what you're listening to, because what you're listening to might be a little bit too intense. It might be getting you a little bit too hopped up. All right, we got Leona says, "Yo, co-fam, Mike, thank you for uploading the live stream podcast. It was the only thing that kept my attention during a 5.5-hour flight. By the way, Bondi's for strides today. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you're listening to it. It's not a lot of people that are listening to it on the audio only version. I think a few hundred people per episode. But that's totally cool because I feel like the people that I'm getting are like the core, and I feel like it's kind of like their views aren't that many, but they're quality views or downloads or however things are measured over in podcast world, which I'm not always sure. So I'm glad that you're enjoying it. It doesn't take that much extra effort for me to take this that your guys are watching and put it into the audio only version. So, at some point, someday, there might be a second podcast channel, something that has more like the conversations involved, but I love doing interviews. I hate scheduling interviews. So like, that's like the biggest thing, like just lining it up, getting it set up. It's just like really annoying for me. So that's like I'm the thing holding me back in doing that. But ideally I'd love to get there, but not yet. So for now it's, you guys get the audio from the live stream. Lou Sal says, "What's up, everyone? What's going on, Lou?" And JC says, "Hello, everyone. Home today. Positive COVID test." Oh, that's a bummer. Mild to moderate flu symptoms so far. Well, let's hope that it stays that way and that you have a quick recovery, JC. Today I took my kids to get their booster shots. We kind of held off on doing the booster shots, even though they were eligible a little while ago, thinking that, I'd rather have them get boosted a little bit closer to when school starts, and school starts for the next week. Probably should have done it like maybe 2 weeks ahead of time, but anyway, we got them boosted today. So my older daughter, so it's only been like 3 hours. Older daughter so far just seems to be a little bit mopey, but she was annoyed that she had to leave grandma's house to get COVID shots back here and also do other stuff to get ready for the school year. So I think that's kind of why she's mopey. And then the baby is just like, she's bouncing off the walls as usual in her underwear, because that's how she does it. So anyway, all right, let's see. Martha says, with a wave, says, "Hi, everyone." Says, "My cheeks hurt after yesterday's live stream. It was so hilarious between the comments, cracking up etc. I had a lot of fun with that. That's definitely going to be a recurring segment. But I think depending on how often people are posting food, and by the way, I feel like Philly Bowden always has great food that she's posting in her videos. She had a video up today. Lots of great food. But like, I feel like depending on how often people are posting food, that'll kind of dictate how often we can play that game. Because I do love the game of Who Ate This. It's pretty fun. All right. Let's see. Adam says, I liked you on the couch yesterday. You know, it was shaky, I know, because I was holding the laptop in my lap. But I do feel like that, like, I don't like this background for the live stream. I like this background for like set videos, but I'm working on a set. So I got to like figure out what I'm going to do is this paper's on a roll that's suspended in the air. I'd like to be able to just roll it up and have something behind it for a live stream that's a little bit more fun, looks a little bit more like a living room kind of thing. Some shelves or something, some shoes in the background. Not a full-on like studio type of thing, but just something that makes it a little bit more fun and colorful, I guess. You know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just need to put some more of the kids' photos on the back, or kids' drawings on the back, but we'll see. Something like that. All right. Midlife Runner says, hey, coach, have work again, so we'll listen tomorrow on my run. Question, do you get niggles during higher mileage weeks, and how do you combat it if so? I think we talked about it a little bit yesterday. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the response yesterday, but when I have little things, and right now my left ankle, it's not so much the ankle, it's like the joint doesn't hurt, but I don't think it's tendon, but it's I think it's not Achilles, but I think it's something that's a little bit tendon related. My left ankle is a little bit tender. I think it's just because more intensity in a short period of time. That typically ends up in some like Achilles strain for me. But this time it's more kind of like lower in terms of like the tendon that goes underneath the heel. And that feels both tender to the touch, but also like moving around. It feels like a little bit creaky. And one of the things that I've been doing is just kind of like doing some mobility work to get that joint moving to the extent that it's comfortable and moving it around. And I've been doing that a lot today. Sometimes actually massaging the heel, like the real back of the foot. And then other times like kind of like just doing what feel like calf stretches to keep it moving. So like basically encouraging blood flow, moving it around to the extent that movement feels like kind of good painful, if that makes any sense. If it actually hurts, then I stop. Then I won't do that. But, that's kind of like what I do for little things that might be bothering me. And trying to do that multiple times throughout the day, just really try to encourage blood flow, because that's what's going to fix it. The body, like, circulating around the things that are going to heal itself. So that's kind of where I'm at. All right. Mark Peterson with a great question. I have the opportunity to test out either the Endorphin Speed or the Pro 3 tonight. Which should I try? I have the OG Speed, but I kind of fell between sizes. I ended up with one that was a little too big. All right. So Endorphin Speed or the Pro 3. And it's the OG Speed. If it's the OG Speed and the Pro 3, I would go with the Pro 3 because that'll be fun. That's just more exciting to me. I'm a sucker for novelty. So like I like new things. I have the Endorphin Pro 3 in front of me. I can box it for you guys the other day. I just ordered the Speed 3. So I'm waiting. I'm like, should I wait and run both of them closer together and then like film both of them together? Or I'm like, but I really just want to take out the Pro 3 for my workout tomorrow. For my 5K training, I've actually got some threshold miles and a couple of 200s. I feel like I could do the threshold miles on the road and then just kind of do like, 38 to 40 second repeats to mimic 200s on the roads. So that's kind of what I'm thinking I'm doing. But I'm like, should I wait? But I really want to get to it because I'm really excited about it. So I don't know. I'm debating. Otherwise, I'm like, well, you know what? The Magic Speed is coming out soon, so I'd like to get that video out. So maybe I need the workout in the Magic Speed. So that's the dilemma right now. Magic Speed or Endorphin Pro 3. Both of them I need footage and testing. Both of the workout that I have for tomorrow will be good to test either of those and have footage for the video. So that's kind of where I'm at too. So it's a dilemma. I'm going to encourage you, Mark, to go for the Pro 3. For me, I'm still not sure. Not sure what I'm going to do. Yeah, Eliza says, looking at JoJe bars online, seeing they have pancakes and bacon. All right, so let me go over the flavors. Let's get started in this. The first flavor that I am going to try today is indeed pancakes and bacon. That is a flavor. And I looked at it and I was like, is there actual bacon in here? Like maybe there's like bacon. What is going up with the focus today? I'm like, is there actually bacon in this one? But I looked at it on the back and the ingredients say that it's imitation vegetarian bacon flavor. So natural, it says natural vegetarian bacon flavor. That's the actual wording of it. So it's not real bacon, but it's bacon flavor and pancakes for the bar. The next one I'll try after that is going to be the apple walnut cake, which I think is probably going to be my favorite. And then we'll go to the one that I think I'm not going to like the most. Lemon, blueberry, quinoa. I mean, what? And then the last one is probably going to be really good, espresso chocolate almond. So we'll go to that one. First, let's start with the pancakes and bacon. You know, it says on the back here that the founder is a person named Jess. I don't know. Does anyone know who that is? Jess? A professional athlete and chef with a passion for racing bicycles, being active outdoors, and enjoying healthy and delicious food. Huh. I didn't know that. All right. It looks kind of like a Cliff Bar, but I'll say it's a little bit stickier and less and more like kind of like gooey stuff mushed into a shape rather than like a Cliff Bar. This pancakes and bacon is good. I'm getting a lot of strong maple flavor or syrupy flavor, which is nice. I'm getting smokiness, but not bacon necessarily. But this is good. I like this a lot. Actually, it's really tasty. I think that the imitation bacon flavor probably keeps it from feeling too sweet. But I like it. On the back of these, it tells you what the flavor profiles are. And for this one, the words are smoked, maple, and salty. I agree on the first two. I'm not getting like a very strong salty flavor, but I'm not getting super sweet. And so that's what I think kind of what I'm getting. But that was good. Tasty. Liza says, I'm convinced I need that bar now. Lou says, ooh, I've had that apple walnut JoJe bar. Does anyone have a confirmation of how you're supposed to say it? I've been saying JoJe, like the singer JoJe, Joji. But I would love it if it was just like JoJe, like Jose, but with a J-E and a soft J sound. I don't think that's the right one. But I don't know. I guess if there were no E, if you're saying JoJe, but you didn't put the E accent over the E, I think probably would call it JoJe. I don't know. I really don't know. Mark Peterson says, I'm glad that SJD isn't the only one who uses the word niggle, because he's the first I heard use it, and it always made me cringe. Still not a fan, though. Yeah, I could see why it could make some people nervous. As far as I know, there isn't a negative connotation associated with the word, other than it has the same first syllable as another word that you might not want to really use a lot. I do think that the word kind of downplays the potential seriousness of things that we're talking about in terms of things that are bothering the body. But yeah, I think it's a pretty well accepted word, especially in the endurance space. But I think that's funny. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Ted and Ruth says, it's always worth speaking to a PT or looking up Bob and Brad. You don't want a chronic injury messing things up, though. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, you know, back during the pandemic, I remember I tried to find someone who would see me like telemedicine-wise, understanding that there are significant limitations to trying to do physical therapy over the internet. But I don't know. I wish, like, for me, in a lot of ways, maybe this is something, you know, I think this is something that I need to investigate further. Not necessarily because of I think my ankle is that bad, but For me, let me tell you, I'd say that like I feel like the bar in terms of something being wrong for me is higher than even like, oh, I need to go to my doctor to check this out. For me to go to see like a PT or seek out a physical therapist's opinion, where I feel like I should just have someone on speed dial. Not that speed dial is a thing anymore, but I feel like I should have someone that I like regularly go to that knows me and kind of like keeps track of me over the years, kind of thing. And maybe there's a way that we can demystify that a little bit. Yeah, I think we'll do that and try to see what people say. All right. David Wen says, I looked up on the website and it's pronounced JoJe. There's no way that JoJe accent is pronounced JoJe. All right. I'll call it JoJe. I'll take your word for it. JoJe? All right. All right. Let's get to the next flavor while we're talking about it. The next flavor is going to be the apple walnut cake. I enjoy the word that there's the word cake in here. The photo seems to have like golden delicious and red delicious apples on it, which I feel are two of the least delicious apple varieties. But then there's like walnuts, like a picture of like some cinnamon sticks. And I think these are one of these cloves. I don't know if you can see I can't get the camera to focus on stuff. There we go. So there it is. So that's a picture. But I don't know. The flavor profile is savory, nutty, and spiced. When things are spiced, it always makes me nervous. All right, this one kind of like looks a little bit similar, but it looks thicker. It's like a thicker cut than the other one. Ooh, smells great. Much more dense. Really good apple flavor, though. I feel like either they put in a lot of apple flavoring or I don't know if there's like dried apple pieces in here. But this is hard to eat. It's hard to chew. If this could have the same consistency as the pancakes and bacon, then they have like a super hit. But this flavor is good. I wish I were getting crunch from the walnuts, but everything's just so mushed together. So it's just like one dense chewiness where I wish I can get like pieces of apple, pieces of walnut. And the spice isn't too crazy. Sometimes with some of these bars, they go crazy on the spice. And it's just like, what's this, cardamom? Why is there so much cardamom in here? Sometimes it just makes it taste weirdly like grassy or something. Oh, this was that was hard to eat. That was hard. Oh. Stevie76 says, tastes great, less filling. Tastes great. I could use less filling, though. I mean, it was good. But it has the word cake in it as well. So I was expecting something to be actually a little bit sweeter. I'm glad it's not that sweet. But also a little bit more airy. So maybe if they just called it apple walnut, that'd be better. Martha says, delicious apples are overbred. Is that what it is? I mean, I know they're everywhere. I think that's the apple that gets sold like everywhere. That if you don't see what kind of apple it is, if it's not like labeled, it's probably a red delicious or a golden delicious. But I don't know. I don't think I'm an apple connoisseur, but I do love my apples. Were we talking about this yesterday? I'd like to get good at making like a good apple crumble. I'd like to get good at that. Just like be able to throw one together. But there's an apple orchard really near the house, just outside the town limits over here. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm excited to see what kind of apples are going to be local to the Midwest. Because I don't know that I've gone apple picking in the I only go on the East Coast. An apple, I would say one of my favorite apples that is new to me that I don't remember eating growing up is the Empire apple. That's a delicious apple. A lot of times at the store we'll get like Gala apples or Fuji's, Pink Ladies. Like those are the kinds that I tend to like. And those are the ones that are like very easy to find in grocery stores. But if I'm picking it, I mean, Macintosh apples are delicious. Empire, though. I'm assuming that's like a New York varietal. But, you know, it's really, really good. Mark Peterson says Honeycrisp FTW. Honeycrisps are delicious. They are delicious. Oh, yeah. I can't believe I didn't mention those. Those are good. I would put that above a Gala apple any day. Yeah. We got some apple fans in here. Michelle Moms for the Max. Yeah. It's a good apple. It's a good apple. Andrew says, got to get the Envy apples. I don't think I've had that. Is that local? Andrew would know. I think. I'm going to have to get that. All right. Hunter says, the apple picking game in the Midwest is pretty excellent. Can get the honey crisp pretty easily. Can also score Asian and Korean pears at some select orchards. Whoa, that'd be amazing. That'd be cool. All right. Before I get to the next bar, I got to stop on this one here. Where'd it go? Adam did a trail 10K with 1,700 feet of vert last night. A mile and then a 4x4 relay tomorrow. Are you doing the mile and the 4x4 in the same day? He said, why? Why not? The relay is just for fun. I'll be wearing a tutu. There you go. That sounds like fun. The question is, for the mile, will you be eating any weird foods every quarter mile or so? I think the mile you're doing for time, but like to do the mile, I guess you have 2 days, right? So you did the trail 10K last night and you get the mile tomorrow. I don't know. I think I'd probably like a little bit more rest in there, but man, good luck. Go for it. All right. Let's go to the next bar here. The one that I don't think I'm going to like because I'm just not always a huge fan of blueberry things. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. But lemon, blueberry, quinoa. Just sounds like a weird combo of things to put together. So it's got to be delicious or it's just going to be as gross as I think it is. Flavor profile says bright, tangy, and fruity. Sounds good. I'll try to keep an open mind. By the way, the nutritional info for this one is 260 calories, 11 grams of fat, no cholesterol, 95 milligrams of sodium, 37 grams of carb, and 5 grams of protein. So I wonder if the other ones have protein in it too, or if it's just because this one has quinoa. Yeah, the other ones have got the same. Sorry over the crinkling here. Yeah, the apple walnut cake actually has 6 grams of protein. So you're getting a little bit of everything. You know, I'm surprised that the salt isn't higher, but all right, they all kind of have like the same look where it's just like a little bit shiny, which I'm not always a huge fan of shiny food. But I feel like you're eating prepackaged food, it's going to be shiny a little bit, and it doesn't smell like a little bit of blueberry smell, and I feel like I'm smelling like someone's lunch. I'm like, that can't be the quinoa, right? I'm just imagining it because I know there's quinoa in this. The texture is nice. It's not super dense like the walnut cake. I'm liking the bits of blueberry. And the lemon's nice and strong in here. And it looks like there's sesame seeds in his too. Is there sesame seeds in this one? Honey, blueberries, sunflower oil, sunflower seeds, yeah. See, I feel like I would call this lemon blueberry sunflower seed. I would just kind of hide the fact that there's quinoa in it. But I don't know. There's something at the tail end of this. It kind of tastes funny. I'm trying to put my finger on it. There's like an aftertaste that I don't like. It makes me feel like I've been eating something that's not food. What is that? Like I accidentally ate makeup or something like that. I don't know what that is. Or like I don't know. There's something. Is that the quinoa? I think it might be the quinoa that I'm tasting. There's like something about it. There's something that I don't like at the end. Well, yeah. I don't. As I expected, I don't love that one. The lemon is good. The blueberry's great. Whatever the rest of the flavors are, not loving so much. Eliza wants to know, is it a pledge taste? No, it's not a pledge taste, but it does like lift up all the flavors nicely. So when they say bright, I think that's what the lemon is doing. So there's like partially like kind of like almost like a zesty part to it, and then there's also a lemon juiciness part to it too. So I'm feeling that. More other things that might be wax. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's almost like there's a spice or something at the end of there. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I don't know what flavor of the things that are in this. Like, I don't know what would be giving it that kind of like. There's something that I don't like at the end of that. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. But something about it just doesn't taste great. It doesn't taste like soapy. It doesn't taste waxy. But I don't know. Huh. Yeah, Stevie76 says, "Don't eat the packaging." I'll try not to. I don't think I ate any of the packaging. But part of that, not great. All right. Let's go for the espresso chocolate almond. I think all of these have had almonds in them, and from an allergy perspective, I think the allergen warning has been the same in all of them. It'll tell you what it contains. This one says contains tree nuts. Others have said specifically that they contain almonds. I think there was one that had coconuts that said coconut oil in it. Yeah, well, for example, the blueberry lemon quinoa one does have coconut oil in it. Doesn't specifically call out that it contains coconut oil in it or tree nuts, which is typically where coconut kind of falls in. This one says contains tree nuts. And then for the rest of it, it says processed in a facility that manufactures ingredients containing milk and peanuts for this one. And surprisingly, it's different for some of these other ones. Because I would have assumed that they all got kind of co-packed at the same place. But like, for example, this Pancakes and Bacon one says processed in a facility that also uses peanuts, soy, milk, wheat, tree nuts, and eggs. So this one is in a facility that doesn't use eggs, I guess, or milk. Oh, this one does have milk. I don't know. So you have to read them carefully if those are allergens that pertain to you. The ones that I typically look for is peanuts. All right. Espresso chocolate almond. This should be a home run, right? Another thick bar. It seems to be shorter than the other ones, but I'm guessing there's just some natural variation in the production. A thick bar. Smells great. Smells like a chocolate, kind of like granola bar should. This is great. There's like big chunks of chocolate in here. Milk chocolate. So a little bit on the sweet side. I'm not sure I'm getting a lot of espresso, but I'm getting a lot of chocolate and almond. So this is a good bar. Really good. I'd say my two favorite. I mean, really, I liked all of them except for the lemon blueberry. The apple walnut cake was tough to eat, but those flavors were great. This chocolate espresso chocolate almond, really good. Maybe not so unique of a flavor, but like definitely a safe option for those of you that may not be that adventurous or want to increase the likelihood that you like what you buy. And the pancakes and bacon, vegetarian, are tasty. I think the pancakes and bacon might be my favorite. But this one, also really good. Daniel had said, is coconut a nut? It's considered a tree nut. I mean, it's like a nut that coconuts grow in trees, so it's a tree nut. So things that have like coconut shaving in it, a lot of baked goods, like cakes and stuff, are tree nuts. And for allergen marking purposes, like I'm not sure if that lemon blueberry quinoa one is marked incorrectly. I think they need to mark it for tree nuts, but sometimes oils are treated a little bit differently. I'm not that sure. My wife could give you a really long discussion on it, but I don't really look out that much for coconut. Luke Klein says, all those seeds I watch out for when you plan to run race. Is that like a drug testing thing? I would love to get drug tested. I don't think anything would show up. But or is this from a digestive perspective? Because I eat these and run all the time. Sometimes I eat these like on my way out the door, while like I'm waiting for the elevator, or when I used to live in an elevator building. But yeah. Baldy said, when did you say you'd start testing out the Koro Space 2? This weekend. So I'm pretty much done testing out this. Sorry. I'm pretty much done testing the Vertex 2. I think I've gotten everything I need to get out of it from the user experience, except for the fact that I charged this once. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks ago. And I've been using it every day for the last 2 weeks, sometimes with navigation, sometimes just for GPS and heart rate tracing. But I'm still at 44% battery. So I was hoping to do a battery drain test on it, but I just don't want to keep running in it. It's too heavy for me. So, yeah, that's a good watch. But I'm looking forward to the much, much, much lighter Koro Space 2 for the weekend. So I got to shoot some B-roll of it, but I'll start probably wearing it Friday when I head out for Boston. Yeah, Robert DeGennaro says, my daughter's allergic to peanuts and tree nuts. She eats coconut, no problem. That's why I think, at least in the allergen community, the allergy parent community, people get frustrated because coconuts are usually lumped in with tree nuts, because a lot of times people that are allergic to multiple types of tree nuts don't have any problem with coconuts. And then if they look at a package and it says, like, if their kids are with another caregiver, it'll say like contains tree nuts, and they're like, oh, you can't eat this. But if it's the tree nut is coconut, then they probably could have. But it's a very nuanced discussion to have with someone who would probably just be like, out of safety and caution, I'm not going to let you eat these things. So that's kind of like, yeah, I think a lot of people can eat coconut things, even though they have other tree nut allergies. So, yeah. Thomas wants to know, is this a microphone you're using from Shure USB? I'm interested in the model. My wife has just started podcasting with some of her friends, and I was curious. Yes, I love this microphone. I have 2 of them in case I ever get to interview 2 people at the same time and feel like bringing a bunch of equipment. I bought 2 of them because they are really good. I prefer to do my voiceovers in this when I do like the travel videos, but a lot of times I just don't bring this with me. I don't travel with it. So it ends up on a less good microphone. My shotgun microphone is what I typically do most of my videos on, because I could put it out of frame and still use it. And so, like, of the 3 microphones that I kind of use regularly, which would be like the DJI mic, which I made the video about recently, my Deity V Mic Pro 3 or something like that, or I might have shuffled the words around incorrectly. Then my shotgun mic, and then the Shure USB 3. Like, that's the order in which I think the sound quality goes, but I'll probably use the shotgun mic the most because of the convenience of it. I know a lot of people are putting their their studio mics in the frame these days. Like Potato Jet's been doing that. Everyday Dad has been doing it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that, but I don't like it. So, yeah. Series 76 wants to know, why did the pecan go to the ballet? It was afraid of the nutcracker. There you go. Oh. Almost forgot I have that button. Let's see. Baldy says, I've been on my Apple Watch 4 for the last few years and have been wanting to switch to the Pace 2 from all the reviews. I'm still on the fence. Baldy, I'm surprised that your Apple Watch 4 still works well enough to track your runs. I bring it. I still run with it every time that I go for a run. Almost every time that I go for a run. If it's like a group run, then I don't bring it because then I don't need music. But I only listen to music on it, or like podcasts or stuff. And if I'm not charged to 100% when I start, I can't get through a run. The battery dies. And part of that is because a lot of times I'm streaming, and so I know that draws a little bit more power from it. But I think just because my Apple Watch Series 4 is so old, it just won't hold a charge. And I'm talking about during like summer temperatures. It's even worse in the winter. In the winter, basically whatever I set it on when I leave the house, that's what I get to listen to the whole time. If I try to change that like activity of changing from making it do like say music to a podcast, like does something and the battery just like gives up and it dies. So the main reason why I originally went from Apple Watch to a dedicated running watch is that like, sometimes running watches crash. It's exceedingly rare. It's happened to me like maybe 3 times in the last 4 or 5 years. Maybe not that long that I've been running with GPS watches. Maybe 3 years. Anyway, it's exceedingly rare. But when it does happen, the watches usually save whatever activity is happening at the moment of what you have so far and then shut off. With the Apple Watch, if it dies in the middle, you just lost whatever you have. I don't know why it's like that. And mine just dies all the time. My other running watches, like it can be 0 degrees Fahrenheit and it'll still work, So I know I'm asking the Apple Watch to do more though. Like I'm asking it to like play an audiobook and GPS track me, but it's just still, that's the main reason why I switched. So, I mean, if it's working for you, great. But that's like one of the main reasons. That's what's, started me along the path. And then I kind of got hooked on some of the other features and data stuff. But you can do a lot of that stuff too, in other ways with the Apple Watch. It's not wrong. You know what I mean? Adam Casimir says, are you planning to run 4 majors in the next few months? Chicago, New York, Tokyo, and Boston. Any thoughts on finding a way to London and Berlin and knocking out all 6 within the year? I would love to do all 6 in the year. I don't know the timing if I can do London, because London's going to be in the spring again, right, in 2023. I don't have a bib, I think, right, because the lottery already went out, right? I don't have a bib for London, and I don't have a bib for Berlin. I would love to do all 6 in a year. That'd be one heck of a challenge, and a lot of fun to do. I do have bibs for those 4 that you listed, but the last 2 I don't. So I don't know. I'm hoping that I'm running New York on a New Balance bib this fall, and so hoping that the relationship works out. They enjoy the work that I put out there, and they're like, "We love this so much. We'd love to bring you to London to run the New Balance TCS marathon, however it's called." So that'd be ideal, because otherwise I'm not sure how I'd get out there. And then Berlin, it's an Adidas race. So they contacted me very little, except for they'll send me 4D shoes, like their 3D printed shoes. That's like the only thing I ever get from Adidas. And I don't think I'm talking directly to Adidas when I get those shoes. I'm usually talking to a PR company. That's just like, who's reviewed them before? Who wants to review them again kind of thing. So that's kind of where it's at. Just because, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I've ever gotten a bib through the lottery in any lottery ever. I don't think so. I think the answer is no. Yeah, so I just haven't had luck. But I'd love to. I would love to. Runner Will says, the Pace 2 takes forever to die battery-wise. I don't even feel it on my wrist, unlike the Garmin 6X Pro I sold. Yeah. It's a weird thing about watches. People, like, they're running watches, so you should, in theory, want them as light as possible, right? And it also helps with, getting a good heart rate, keeping that watch high on the wrist. But also they're watches, and people like them to be, like, nice and premium and super rugged and stuff. So, like, this Vertex 2 is very heavy, but it's also got, like, sapphire glass, like, infinite battery, it seems, and just, like, super rugged. I don't think I could scratch this thing if I tried. But it's pretty heavy, but also nice, So, like, it's It's hard. It's hard to figure out watches sometimes. Baldy says, yeah, wow. Yeah, my watch lasts 2 days long, but I don't stream music through it. I use the phone for that. Oh, okay. All right. So that Baldy's using his Apple Watch Series 4. You're still getting 2 days out of it. I think if I tried to use my Apple Watch 4 as like a smartwatch, I don't think it would last me past dinner. I guess maybe I should try that. We'll see. CV76 says, knock, knock, who's there? Cashew? No thanks, I prefer walnuts. It's the tree nut edition of the dad joke. Philip says, there are travel agencies which still can get you into London and Berlin. Oh, yeah? Maybe I'll do that. I mean, those are not cheap, but that might be the way. I suppose, like, if I can get into, like, London or Berlin, then I'll just pay for the other one. You know, I don't know. Leona says, just looked it up. London lottery opens 10-1 for about a week. Okay, so I've got a chance for London. Maybe I can 10-1. I'll have to look at it. I know I didn't get it this year because it's in like a couple weeks, isn't it? Like 8-9 weeks or something like that. That's where Thomas and Megan are going. I think they're training for London. All right. So I'll have to look at that. And then we'll look at the Berlin lottery. Hopefully we can figure something out. Frank says, the agency thing always seems like such a scam. Yeah, you know, there's part of me that's like, you know what, I would prefer someone to figure all that stuff out for me. Thank you. You know, and I'm willing to pay the premium for that. So I feel like it's kind of a good thing. The thing that annoys me about it is that it seems like, you know, for London and Berlin specifically, those two, I don't know how it is for people in Europe trying to come to run the U.S. majors, but for Americans trying to run the other international majors, it just seems like it's just about impossible to run those races unless you do that. And that's the part that's annoying. It's like, I mean, I guess, and then your other option's a lottery, which I don't think that no one ever publishes like how many go to like the U.S. out of how many people like signed up for the lottery in the U.S. I don't know. Run and Will got Tokyo and Berlin via lottery. You're a lucky dude, man. Mark Peters says even Chicago. Yeah, the first 2 times I ran Chicago, it was on charity bid. The first time I actually tried to fundraise, and then the second time my wife and I were just like, we're just going to pay it. And then the third time, Nike gave me a bib. And then the fourth time, I had a good for age time. I think that was the last time. And now I'm like, now I have a good for age time, and I've done it enough times where like you get in. I think if you did it 5 times within so many years, you get to go again. I'd love to be able to run that good for age time for New York for 40 to 44. It's 2:58. So like that would make things a lot easier if I could just run fast enough to get automatically be invited. But you know, that also reminds me that there's like the Masters Championship that Wanda's trying to do. Is that what it's called? It's called the Wanda World Championship, right? For the majors. And for 2023, because I think for 2022, it's at London. It was at London last year as well. They don't fly you out, but you get a guaranteed entry. Depending on the age group, they give out so many, guaranteed entries. If you run, they take the average of like your 2 fastest marathons or qualifying marathons in the year, and then you can see where you fall in line in your age group worldwide. I don't think I'll ever run fast enough that I'd get into that, but it's an interesting thing to kind of keep track on. And in 2023, it's going to be in the U.S. and not in London again in the fall. So, I mean, basically New York or Chicago. So that'd be interesting to have the Masters Championships as part of either of those races. All right, Daniel Head says, my watch battery strategy is to use a running watch on runs and then switch to an automatic watch for telling time throughout the day. Yeah, I mean, that works too. But it depends. Like, I like to just wear the running watch all day, but I've been using a lot of the nylon straps And those get sweaty and gross. So you kind of have to have either multiple bands, go without a watch for a while, or have a 2-watch strategy, which always seems like very extra, you know? Yeah. Frank says, I don't even think you get into London by lottery unless you're a Brit. I think you're right on that one. Because I've looked at it and I'm like, I don't think I'm eligible. I think the only way I'm eligible is if I pay a bunch. Rainwater says, can you get into New York City based on time? Yes, by age. Like so, but it's fast. So it's faster than Boston qualifying. And Lou says, something like 55 to 60% of New York City is all travel agency stuff. It is. That's a lot. I mean, that's got to be a bunch of revenue for New York Roadrunners. Amazing. Let's see. Martha says, I should be able to do Chicago and New York by Good for Age as long as I get into the websites in time, which isn't easy. Yeah, interesting. And Raynor says, wow, I was thinking about a friend who did Boston in 3:20 and she's 46. I was telling her I think she would probably qualify for like New York then. I don't know what it is for women at that age because I think that's another age group above me. I'm not sure what the women's time is, but both times were pretty aggressive. The Chicago time is, if I recall correctly, to get a guaranteed bib by Good for Age, I think is, I guess we could look it up, but I think it's easier than Boston qualifying. So just kind of put all those things into perspective. Matt LeGrand's here. What's going on, Matt? Good to see you. How are you? And Wilfredo Chupacabra Aguirre says, after your fast 5K, are you going to jump into a 10K? I know in New Orleans you'll love Fast and Flat. Is that the Crescent City Classic? I thought that was in the spring. No? Is it in the fall? I'm not planning on doing a fast 10K. I will kind of have a 10K-ish effort this weekend. I'm going to Falmouth. It's a 7-mile race, so I don't know how many kilometers that is, like 11 or 12. It's like a 7.1 something mile race, I think. I should probably look that up. So I'm thinking that is probably, I'm just going to do that at threshold effort. So we'll see how that goes. If I do, then I'll, unofficially be hitting a 10K PR. If I can maintain that. Although I guess I'd have to see, I think I probably ran about a 40-minute 10K for the Cherry Blossom 10-miler. But that was a longer race. I don't know if I hit 40K, to be honest. I think 40 minutes. I think I hit like 41:30, maybe even 42 for that at that 10-miler. But we'll see. I think, having this Falmouth road race should be a nice kind of like test for fitness for how I'm doing for the 5K that's coming up on the 10th. So just like 3 weeks away now. Martha says, yes, Co, the 2023 Masters Championships will be New York or Chicago. I keep getting emails urging me to do one more marathon to be invited. Yeah, my two are, I feel like I'm pretty solid for me. Like my 2 times are going to be, for 2022 will be LA and Grandma's. I think Grandma's is eligible. So those are my 2 fastest marathons. So I feel like, it's about as good as an entry that I could put together. So, Vincent Vigneris wants to know, what is the Boston qualifying time for men 40 to 49? For men, I don't know. For 40, it's 40 to 44, I think is the time. So for that, it's 3:10, unless it's changed recently. I don't know what it is for 45 to 49. I don't know if it's 3:15, maybe. I don't know. Rainrunner says 45 to 49 for women is 3:38. Are we talking about New York? I don't think we're mixing up races, I think. Or I'm getting them mixed up. There might be multiple conversations going on here. All right, Copper Dan What's going on, Copper Dan says, Kopozy, how are you liking your Ultra Vanish carbons? Have you put any mileage on them? Those, I like them a lot. I think my video called them like the year's most underrated shoe. I think that they are underrated. I haven't had a chance to put too many more miles on them. That'll change once I get into the fall. So like, it's been unfortunate, but kind of my plan for this summer has been to take a bit of a break from a lot of more intense marathon training. And so I've been in basically the Takumi Sen a lot and some spikes, but other than that, not too much time in plated shoes, except for maybe some shorter races and shorter workouts. And so the Vanish Carbon, I'll putting more miles in that kind of after I do this 5K on September 10th, because then I'll have 3 marathons to get ready for and lots of long miles that I want to do some work in carbon in. Yeah, what was I listening? I was listening to the drop. They were talking about the Vanish Tempo. I think it was the drop. They were talking about it. Kind of comparing it to the carbon. I don't know that I'll get the Vanish Tempo this year, but I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot. I really enjoyed that Vanish Carbon. It was a good shoe. And like I think it was the drop that was saying it, they are not sure that it's really a zero drop shoe, even though Ultra is the zero drop shoe company. And that's kind of was my sense on the Vanish Carbon as well. So, you know. Baldy says, you should try to PR your half at Houston. It's tempting, but I just don't think I'm going to have anything left in the tank after CIM. I have something else that I'm hoping is also going to be able to happen in December. I'm not ready to like tell you guys about that one yet. But if that happens too, like then I definitely will be in a very excited mood to watch Houston, but I probably won't be in any position to run it well. So probably just going to be watching Houston. That's kind of like where I'm at on that. I'm going to wish that I was able to run it, but I probably, because I will also have like Tokyo and Boston coming up, not that many months after that, you know, I'll probably just try to restrain myself a little bit. So, yeah. All right. I think that's a pretty good place to leave it for today, guys. Tomorrow's video, hopefully they'll come out tomorrow. I'm trying to get that Mafate speed for video done. So hopefully we'll get that out tomorrow, because the drop just happened real fast on me. It surprised me. So want to make sure that you guys have some info on that. I mean, everyone here already kind of knows my thoughts, so it's not going to be anything new, but trying to get that out for everybody else. So that'll be tomorrow's video, hopefully. And then tomorrow's Thursday, so I don't know if we could do happy hour or not. I'm trying to think if I have to drive anywhere Thursday night. I might have to. We might go mini golfing tomorrow night, so we'll see. But bring a recovery beverage of choice, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, and we'll hang out tomorrow too. All right. Until then, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.